yesterday, Fred, we were watching movies. Thank you, Kev. And he got fed, and this cat ate like he was at a Dachau. He just it wasn't even 10 minutes later. You could hear the and he threw it all up. He was like a 4-year-old, just
This one's like an alarm clock about an hour before dinner time. You know the old-fashioned like World War II era one, the air raid sirens. You know the kind of noise I'm on about. Right? That's what this thing's like. Starting slowly about an hour before dinner time, increasing in frequency and volume until food is delivered. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
So I've removed myself from this whole power play. When do we feed them game? Okay, I don't. They beg. They know I'm not going to give them anything. So today, I guess my mother had fed him his morning breakfast, 2 breakfasts, and he was done. And he was so angry and disagreeable with the entire situation. At one point, I looked at him, and he had this little wooden box, and we put aluminum foil on top of it. I know, I'll be corrected.
No, it's fine.
This cat, how am I supposed to say it? Aluminium?
Aluminium. Aluminium.
That's so much prettier. Aluminium.
No, it's not. It's aluminum.
Anyway, this cat is taken to, he's biting it and ripping it off, looking at me and dropping it on the floor. He's like, I'm hungry, bitch. Not my game. Not my game. I love cats. They're amazing. Tell me they don't communicate. They may not talk, but they communicate.
And for everybody who's viewing, just bear with us. The reception is going to be bad. I don't think there's anything I can do about it. If you can't handle it, check back with us next time. Yeah, there's just nothing I can do about it at this point in time. I've rebooted everything more than once. And, yeah, this is it. So, recommend you tab out, and then just tab back to type. That way you don't have to watch us jerking around like some kind of really low-budget horror film. So, carry on with the cat food barf conversation. See, Elizabeth, you don't have to fake it. You really are moving all herky-jerky. I mean, even on my Discord screen, and if anybody wants to, you know, if you think you know something, you can send me a message. My OBS is running 11 instances and taking up 60% of my CPU. Discord has 4 and is taking up 35%. So,
sorry, Travis.
No, it's okay. It happens, and it could be my computer aging, or it could be just the weather patterns in the area messing with the signal. I have no clue. So,
God,
Chris, you could gel that little bit up. You could put a little something. Oh, that looks cool. That kind of looks cool. Yeah.
I think more Ed Grimley would be good.
Uh-oh.
Go British punk style. Use Vaseline, form it into a horn on the front.
Right.
Agreed. I wanted it like.
I straight through life like a unicorn.
Just gonna dangle on my forehead.
There you go.
Like so many other things.
People in the street throwing donuts.
Wouldn't that be a good day? You come home and people are waiting in your yard, tossing donuts at you.
No, I'd rather him keep them in the box and hand them to me. I'm not going to eat them off the ground, nor after that motherfucker touched it while sitting on my curb. Dirty little rednecks.
Leap and catch one.
Like a dolphin begging for a fish at the aquarium. I make the same noise too. Ee.
Don't forget the appropriate finale, though, which is a triple backwards somersault through a flaming hoop, whistling the Star Spangled Banner, which is often misinterpreted as just a fancy circus trick, which was in fact translated in their language. So long, and thanks for all the fish.
I say that to people a lot when they're leaving to like go places.
Oh, yeah, so long and thanks for all the
It's always
fish.
so long and thanks for all the fish, and they always sound like what?
So Travis, you said you were going to respond to the spider's nightmare.
Oh, yeah, it's for our viewers. Elizabeth was telling us about a nightmare she had regarding spiders. Neither her nor Chris appreciate the viewing or the feeling of spiders at all.
Nope.
Oh, we appreciate it. We appreciate it at a much deeper, more intense level than anyone else.
Very well. It's
I appreciate them to be not in my vision or perception.
right. So, and Elizabeth was telling us about a dream she had after last Thursday's D&D game on this stream, which involves spiders. And I think we cut off before she told all that, but all I can say is I'm flattered. Gary complimented me on my DMing. Something like this from somebody who's just watching the stream, that's flattering if my DMing can create that kind of reaction in your head. Thank you very much for
Thank you.
having nightmares about
And
spiders.
may I say, fuck you.
You may,
Horrible.
you may, please.
The
Do
cheese
so.
are hard. That one hurt. I woke up like, oh, that took a year. Oh, God.
Were they hiding their eyes though?
They just were like, that one you said was hanging out. Go ahead, Deb. I'm sorry.
I was going to say I'm exactly the opposite. Spiders don't bother me at all, but I suppose that's probably a side effect of the fact that I keep reptiles and I'm interested in exotic animals and stuff. But I don't think I've ever had or had to teach myself out of having any kind of fear of spiders. It never really bothered me. I've held all kinds of spiders, including I'm lucky enough to say actually the world's biggest spider. I've held a huntsman, which took both hands, and my hands are small. So.
No. I didn't mind spiders as a kid. I mean, I didn't want them
There's-
on me.
There's a
anything
reason.
crawling on me, but like, you know, the brown garden spiders used to make, you know, webs by the like light that lit the driveway, and we would like go find Daddy Longlegs and like throw them, or like a cricket and throw them into the web and watch the spider like go and wrap them all up, and that was like super fun to watch do. And yeah, I don't know where the switch came along, but nope.
I know what it was. It was the guilt of all those lives you gave to the spiders. Help me, no!
One of those could have been Jeff Goldblum.
It was a fun
there's a-
show.
There's a psychological reason why people are scared of things like spiders rather than other types of animals. And it's because your brain, in order to help you process information, tries to anthropomorphize animals, give them human characteristics that helps your brain understand what the animal is, to assess it as a threat, that kind of thing. With a lot of animals, that's simple because the generic makeup of a great many animals is head, body, or limbs of some kind. You know, whether you walk on all fours or upright, or you hop on the back too, or, you know.
I do a little of each.
Yeah. Birds have wings and 2 feet, so again, it's 4 limbs. So your brain processes all of these animals in the same way quite easily because they're quite similar to you. But spiders, 2 body segments, 8 eyes, 8 legs, you know, they're so vastly different to your body type that your brain struggles to process that as easily, and therefore it categorizes it as more of a threat than other animals because it doesn't understand it as well.
Agreed. And And if I may add, it's the way they eat you. They inject you with some kind of venom that slowly digests you from the inside out, and then they suck you like through straws.
Elizabeth, I knew a chick
Oh,
that
it's
did the
like the
same thing, but I was not scared of her.
It's the ultimate liquid diet, and I'm so empathetic to the victims. That's for me the horror. And some spiders are cute.
Eyes,
Yeah,
and nope, and big furry fangs, nope, and even not big furry, nope.
You can get some really beautiful spiders as well.
Nope.
Little Mexican jumping
when my
spider.
parents lived in South Carolina, walking in the woods, and they got those big, long, like golden abdomen spiders. Oh! The first time you walk into those, that is the last time you you watch where you're fucking going walking in the woods in Carolinas. Oh.
It's true. It's true. They are. They're just so alien to the human form. It's what's amazing. And that's what I really liked about the hands of the xenomorph on Alien. They were very spider-like, elongated, and the knuckles almost, it's fantastic.
I suppose you think about it, is a good thing with kind of horror movies and sci-fi and stuff. The more effective creatures are the ones that don't rely on a humanoid shape for the same reason, They're just somehow inherently more threatening.
Now, I will say this, and I think I've said it on the show, and you will call me a liar, and you can feel free to call any of my family members, direct family members. They all will say, I can hear spiders. I can hear them as clear as a bell, and I know the good ones and the bad ones. And Black Widows just say, I am death. That's how I know the garage is full of them, because it's all these little different voices. I am death. I am death. I am death.
In the UK, not last summer, but the summer before, there was this whole thing in the press all over the country about these false widow spiders that look similar to a black widow. They're not black widows, and they just cause like a mild allergic reaction unless you happen to be prone to, histamine-related reactions.
False widow? Is that what you said?
False widow.
Oh.
If you type false widow spiders UK, you'll probably find something about it. But yeah, there was a huge explosion of them across the country, and people were getting paranoid all over Facebook in the UK. It was like, is this a false widow? No, it's a house spider.
Is that the spiders that, cross borders and they don't have vaccinations?
We actually talked about those with Robert on the show at one point in time, the Muslim spiders.
Muslim spiders.
There was genuine.
I was into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, we found out we offended somebody afterwards, and it turned out it was actually one of the co-hosts on the show that night, and they didn't bother to tell me. They just told other people. So it got back to me like roundabout way, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry we upset somebody. What's going? Then I found out it was one of the co-hosts, and I'm like, really? You couldn't just fucking come to me going, dude.
I'm sorry, but I thought if we offended one of the hosts on the show, we were supposed to ring a bell.
High five.
Someone gets an award.
I'd like
Toast.
to. I started watching a series yesterday with Andrea called Speechless, and it's a sitcom. Minnie Driver's in it. The guy who played Kripke on Big Bang Theory. They're the parents. 3 kids, and the oldest kid is in a wheelchair. The really nice thing about this is they're very much like the show in that they're making fun of everybody, largely by making fun of the triggers that society is showing recently. But you got a kid that can't speak. He uses a little laser to point at the board, and he has a black caretaker. And they did a whole episode how these two went someplace together, and everybody treated him like royalty, like giving him free food and tickets to the baseball game and... all this stuff. And ISIS spider, says Bob. They're trying to move in and take over. It's that's probably what happened to Chris's house. It's actually new ISIS spider owners.
Isn't it? Sorry, isn't it politically correct now to refer to them as Islamic State spiders?
I don't know. Islamic steak? Well, as long as it's not
Yeah,
Islamic pork.
They used to be dace spiders, you know. Now
I thought it was.
then there were ISIS spiders. Now they've mutated into Islamic State spiders.
I thought it was anti-Semitic spiders.
I can't remember. There's a Muslim comedian here in the UK who appears on quite a lot of the regular sketch shows at the moment, and it's good programs. We have business stand-up, and he did something the other day about it. But yeah, it's a bit ridiculous.
What are the odds?
I throughout my life committed to probably a delusion that I wouldn't kill a spider on purpose, and I'd always capture them in a cup or a plate or not, whatever, and I'd let them go outside. But I would kill something poisonous because that's territorial. Okay, that's like
Venomous.
You're venomous, and the premise being that one day there would be a knock at my door, and I would answer it, and the queen of the spiders would be there. And tell me, why have you killed my children? And I'd say, no, I have not spilled the blood of your children. That might be down the street. And she'd say, okay, I'll move on. So,
if it helps, all spiders, in fact, I believe all arachnids, are venomous.
yeah,
So-
but not to my demise.
No. Oh, you mean deadly venomous? That's very different. Oh,
I
wait.
mean, I'll go to war. You want to go to war? I'll fucking go to war. But
By the
I'm
way,
very peace.
Wynn says, well, Saddam did have a spider hole to hide in, and Bob adds the only way to kill them is to send in the special forces spiders. Really? That's what shuts us up?
So let's move on from
I'm sorry.
spiders.
Oh.
Yeah, all I was saying, thank you for having the nightmare. It's very flattering.
Not a problem. I hope it doesn't hurt your feelings if I do not tune in. My poor heart.
I might.
You can always watch the show afterwards instead of tuning in.
Chris seems genuinely worried. I want to tune in now just to see if they all survive the spiders.
I'm sure we will survive the spiders, and I'm sure my character is going to develop a phobia afterward.
It's just experiencing the spiders, which is.
One spider bite got rid of half of my health, okay? So.
Better than
I
half
need
your
to
body.
avoid getting bitten again.
Whew.
Hide behind the Galax. Or the Rocairn.
Well.
The other Rocairn. They're sturdy.
Oh, I'll talk about.
I mean, I'm sturdy too, and I probably do more damage than all of them because I can have more attacks.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
I can talk about beer I
All about
tasted
the
this
touching.
weekend.
Yes, why don't you tell us about your beer experience?
All right. Well, this weekend.
Are there any spiders in it?
No, I do not know, and if there were, I did not taste them. For many years, I have been a judge in the annual Beer Blitz, which is put on by a local craft brewing club at the brewery over in Hampton by NASA, St. George's, and it's off Commander Shepard Avenue. And then you go down to all the different astronaut streets. It's really neat. I mean, the NASA sign's really cool. And I sit there for 8 hours and taste beer. and look and smell it and taste it and analyze it. And,
Talking about me again.
yeah, that's right. And this year I sampled in the morning Tapas beers, the Belgian style.
From the Tapas
And
monks?
Yes. And I believe we had over 350 entries from around America. Not just for my category, but in general, the beer billets. And the quality is pretty good. And in the afternoon, I judged red ales and UK beers. Red ales and Irish beers. So It was delightful afternoon, and it's truly amazing what people can do with skill and chemistry.
Do you have any Irish cream ales?
We did not, and it broke my heart a little bit. But we had in the morning, the best in show, because every category, and there's an extraordinary amount. And in fact, if I may say, to become a judge, an official judge for beer tasting is quite a challenge. And it's not quite a sommelier level, but it is up there. You really have to know beers.
You need a palate, and you need to be able to distinguish your hops and grains and stuff. Yeah.
Oh my God, you have to memorize all of it.
Yeah, it's, to a lesser extent, it's the same with pretty much any British barman if he knows his stuff, because we serve real ale, so those customers are more discerning on, what's the flavour like. So you have to know your beer in order to be able to describe it properly. So, I mean, I quite enjoy it, but then I enjoy drinking it. So.
Well, I am experienced. I'm not complete. So
I'm extraordinarily experienced.
Yeah, and I've done my research
for many years.
I've sold it, and I got to tell you, it's fun every year. And this year, the morning, the professional judge, and there's always at least one professional judge per category. We agreed on everything within. I think they say you're allowed 7-point difference, but we were within like 5 most of the time. In the afternoon, I ran into one, but I just thought, fuck it, let's stir it up. I ranked it high, and he ripped me really apart, and I let him. I didn't say anything. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. I'll come down 20. And then the next one, I think he figured out what I did, and he gave it a perfect score, and I was like, what? It was a great afternoon. Unfortunately, they had these little plastic picnic benches, so it just threw my back out. I couldn't wait to get out of there. So I will have to find out who the ultimate winners are. But in the morning, one of the double box duple, one of the duples, the Belgian duples, there was a triple. We voted best in show. Nice. And in the afternoon, I think we had to give an Irish red, but I found the afternoon beers sloppy. They just weren't. One was really bad. It got real buttery.
Was it the afternoon beers that were sloppy, or was it you, Elizabeth?
No, I was very good, and I knew that question was coming. No, I was a professional judge. I was a good judge.
I would have been. They'd have been over. This is the first beer of the day, and I'd be like, "What's this? Bring me a pint." You've got 110 beers to tell. I said, "Bring me a pint."
You can't. That's it. You can't. But
and a privy.
As always, I find it amazing to be around art and people creating and spending. I can't imagine the time and money to brew all that beer. And good for them. And thank you for sharing. Beer Blitz, 2019. The first time in so long.
Anyone else ever played Centurion before? 100 shots of beer.
Oh, a century, yeah. I've done a century before, yeah.
It's just
in the night?
Oh, God, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're supposed to drink one shot every 60 seconds.
I've done that. I won't do it again.
I'd have to do it without pants on and some kind of absorbent pad underneath me. After an hour and 40 minutes.
I know I've attempted one. I don't know that I've finished one.
I did one with beer. I did not do it with liquor.
Travis, you say you need that, but pool party.
Ed's place.
We can drink beer in my pool, goddamn.
Yeah, all right.
Hot tub's a bit extra foamy tonight, isn't it? Somebody must have spilled a beer.
I'll bring the pound me two cake, Ed.
Yes, you will.
Shaped like a vagina.
With extra anti-Semitic sauce. I had to put my hat back on.
Welcome to Talk of the Tavern.
we don't offend you, give us time.
Or let us know if you want to be specifically offended. We always take time out for that.
That's a fabulous idea. How you doing, Travis? You're so quiet.
You guys are having a good time. Just letting it roll. Here, let me throw a topic at you. Soups
I
and
was going to say,
sandwiches.
Travis, 45 minutes into the show. Can we talk about the topic?
I'd like to do the opening toast.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Well, all right.
Okay, everybody ready?
Yeah.
Brevity.
Well thought out.
That's sarcasm.
Yeah. You excel in both.
It's
So,
yeah.
sandwiches and soup.
See, my thought on soups and sandwiches is this is a comfort food all of our life. Even as an adult, a lot of us cherish a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Though we don't realize we love them the way we did when we were 7, we still have one and we're like, this is a moment. Not ass soup, Bob. I like my ass dry. Well, that sounds painful. Anyhow,
Swamp it.
but also with soups, whether it's a can of Campbell's soup, or generic for some of us, or the homemade big batch soup, they're a delight. They're a favorite, and putting the two together, like grilled cheese and tomato soup, is just a huge comfort for a lot of people.
Oh, I love a good grilled cheese and tomato soup when it's like cold and rainy out. Yeah.
How do you cook your grilled cheese? Well, what I'm asking is, well, some people put butter on both sides of the bread and then grill it. Some people don't put the cheese on until after they take the bread off the skillet. Some people cook it closed face, and it all makes a difference. Other people will put mayonnaise on the inside. That makes it very creamy.
Nasty.
It's white people food, Ed. I thought you'd understand.
It depends on how drunk I am.
If you put mayonnaise on it, or how you cook it.
How I cook it. Because a lot of the times when I get really drunk, well, when I'm like pretty drunk, we'll butter both sides of the bread, put the cheese on, grill one side, flip it over, grill the other. If I'm really, really drunk, I will forget to put the butter on the inside.
And
or
the outside.
one side of the bread. I have done that. And other times, so I don't know why, but when my mother makes grilled cheese, she puts grape jelly on the inside.
Wow.
And
Really?
so, like, if I'm making a grilled cheese at home and have grape jelly, I will put grape jelly in my grilled cheese.
Cheese and jelly. I would have never thought of it. It just.
Salty sweet.
And by the way, let me point out, Kevin here, being a professional chef, may have a different view about soups as well as sandwiches than us. And by the way, I feel gourmet sandwiches are silly. I think they should just be awesome and good, not gourmetish.
What the fuck is a gourmet sandwich? It's a sandwich.
It's what I don't know. It's a $7 bread instead of the $3 bread. I don't fucking
It's
know.
expensive and it's
$7.
not
We're
right.
doing $7 gourmet sandwiches. Hell, most sandwiches near me are 10 to 15.
Oh no, I said bread, not sandwich. The sandwich that'd be the 10 to 15. Yeah, look at panini. Oh my god, killing me. By the way, lady skipper there, Jules says I'm not white enough for mayo on grilled cheese. Elizabeth, what are you doing under the table again?
You need to remember to mute.
She doesn't. Hey, go ahead and mute when you take your earbuds out so we don't hear you when you're shuffling them, please.
Yeah, it's for your water.
Oh, were you slurping it off the floor?
No.
I don't know. You disappeared from camera. I heard slurping noises. Thought you had some brandy on the floor.
I do not spill brandy.
I'm a
Oh,
drunk
what
with
a big
dignity.
excited.
You guys are talking about making a grilled cheese sandwich, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so I don't use a pan. I cook it under a grill. I put it on a metal tray. So I take 2 bits of bread, toast one side, and then I butter both toasted sides. They're the 2 sides that will go together to make the sandwich. I put in grated cheese, and I like mine with some sliced spring onion and a bit of Liam Perrin's Worcester sauce. Stick the 2 toasted sides together like that on a metal tray, not on the tray, but into the bottom of the grill with the grill on full. So it's hot enough to toast it, but it takes longer, so it gives you cheese time to melt. Toast one side, flip it over, toast the other side. Job done.
What about sandwiches in general? And when I say sandwiches, we could even include, submarine sandwiches. We could include, paninis. We can include, or Paneros, I was saying earlier, but yeah, paninis. So,
Well, we could also start that great philosophical debate. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Like, what constitutes sandwich? Is it just meat in bread? Like, my ex goes on and on and on about, is a hot dog a sandwich? And then from there, like, is a taco then a sandwich? Or, like, a quesadilla a sandwich?
I'd say
Because
yes
No,
to the
I
case.
think-
between 2 pieces of,
I think it needs to be some kind of dough-based bread, definitely. You're talking more of a baked soft loaf of some description, or a baguette, or a ciabatta, or something for a sandwich. If you're using tortillas, it's a wrap. It's a cultural difference. Yes, you could argue it's essentially a form of sandwich, because of course it is. It's a baked bread product wrapped around a filling. But sandwich, you tend to think of traditionally just because of the description, and because it was invented by the fucking Earl of Sandwich here in Britain. It's a filling between sliced bread. Yeah, I mean, you can have now, a loaf split and folded over like a sub kind of thing, and all that kind of thing. But essentially, it is a filling, one layer of filling in between 2 bits of bread. That's what I argue a sandwich is. No, because a hot dog is in a bun. It's not sliced bread or bread, it's a bun.
Well, it is technically sliced.
What if the
But it
bottom?
is
What if
sliced.
the bottom of the bun falls apart? And now
It's a directional thing. A sandwich is this way. A hot dog bun is this way.
But if the bottom of the bun falls apart, then it is now this way.
If your bun splits apart, now, if your hot dog bun splits apart at the bottom, now you've got a sandwich.
Ah, see?
It's like a transformer. By the way,
Yeah.
Toei
Sandwich in
says,
disguise.
technically, a hot dog is a standalone term for a type of sausage, so not a sandwich. And Jules says Chewbacca bread? What the fuck is
Yeah.
Chewbacca bread?
Chewbacca bread. That's how I roll.
It's a Wookiee on a roll?
Ciabatta bread.
Oh, yeah, the stuff it's hard as a fucking rock, and they're like, let's put good sandwiches on this bread that you can't really hardly bite through.
No, see, this is the problem. It's like there's loads of different types of ciabatta. You get hard, crunchy ciabatta, but you can also get really nice soft, doughy ones, grilled ones that are charred on the outside. You can get flavored ones, tomato and herb ones.
Maybe in
It's
Europe,
a very
not here.
versatile bread. Okay. Right, well, there you go. Maybe it's the cultural difference.
No,
I
it's
don't
a
wanna
it's a
judge you
marketing difference, Kevin. That's all it is. Somebody went, we have a
Yeah.
fancy sounding roll, and it's different, and let's make sandwich with it and put avocado on everything. Here we go.
All right, here we go. This is a sandwich. A
Go.
sandwich is a bread that is good. It's either crispy and soft in the middle or just generally rich and beautiful all the way through. It's not aggressive, it's not intrusive, and it's like welcome in your mouth. The sandwich is something with mayonnaise, butter, mustard, or nothing on it. Don't give me that fucking oil. Don't put your fucking oil on my fucking sandwich, because if the meat is good and the cheese is good, it doesn't need fucking oil.
By fucking oil, you mean KY?
And you're allowed to have lettuce and anything else you want on it, but you got to have good bread and good meat. Otherwise, get the fuck out of here. That's shit. And don't put it between an iron. I'll let you know if I want it pressed or mushed.
Now back to paninis again.
See, I enjoy a nice panini.
I love a good panini.
I always find
That's good. You should have what you like.
Absolutely. Just don't give it to
me, a
Elizabeth.
panini always seems like a complete anti-climax of a sandwich. You know, you eat a panini and you're like, right, I could eat 3 more of those. That was fucking pathetic.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
yes.
Not in the U.S. Kevin, they are like 12 inches long, 6 inches wide, and 2 inches thick here.
Oh, okay. Well, now technically, you could. I think no,
Merca.
We're straying into pedantic territory, but I would argue just size-based that is no longer a panini. But okay.
I would argue that I love a grilled cheese because it is, yet while being crisp, it is still soaked in butter and cooked at a temperature where it's soft.
Mm-hmm.
But if you start fucking with the bread too much and cooking it, and it just rips the crap out of the skin of your mouth, and then the sandwich isn't enjoyable. And I don't know, perhaps I suffer from thin skin syndrome in my palate.
You got old lady mouth.
I don't want to eat a bread that tastes like Captain Crunch the whole way through. It just rips the shit out of my mouth. I'm bleeding as I eat the meat, you know? It's how I feel.
Yeah, but a nice hot ham and cheese is always good too.
Mm.
So I think you definitely have to draw a class distinction, if you like, as well, between a sandwich and a toasted sandwich, because they're kind of essentially 2 different beasts. A raw sandwich, if you like, and a sandwich that has, in some fashion afterwards, also being cooked a second way.
There's definitely a different flavor spectrum. And I'm going to read a couple comments real quick. Wynn says, I'll take oil and vinegar over mayo on a sandwich any day. And Gary says, Wawa has an awesome Thanksgiving sandwich that's like a Thanksgiving meal. If you guys haven't tried this, it is bread with stuffing, with turkey, with cranberry sauce, and I think a bit of gravy also.
Yep. I love Thanksgiving time at Wawa.
I say bring it. I make a good Thanksgiving. Let's do it. Let's do a taste test, Chris. It'll be a hoot.
But back to your topic, Kevin. I think they're both sandwiches, but there is definitely, it totally changes the flavor spectrum once that bread is toasted or grilled, as opposed to just soft.
Or in my favourite preparation method, turn into a croque monsieur.
Like an alligator that massages you? A croque monsieur?
Yeah. Absolutely that, yes. Your sandwich suddenly becomes a crocodile that leaps about in the pan and goes, Greek massage?
You fucking Brits, you eat weird shit.
Yeah, well, you know. Anyway, no, croque monsieur is a French sandwich style preparation where I don't know what you'd call it, eggy bread or whatever, but you take the sandwich and you soak it in seasoned egg first.
Called French
and
toast.
Let the bread absorb egg on either side, and then you pan fry it afterwards.
That's called French toast.
Well, even if you've got a filling in the middle.
I've never seen people put filling in the middle unless if it's a McGriddle.
Oh, okay, but that's a croque monsieur. In France, it's often done like that, and then as a final finishing touch, just to really burst your heart with extra cholesterol, they would sprinkle a little fresh parmesan or mozzarella on the top of the finished pan fried sandwich and just quickly grill that till it browns. It's normally served with like a little French mustard and stuff on the side.
Okay, 5 minutes till the top of the hour. If anybody needs to take a break, get a refill, or do the opposite of refilling.
I've heard of that sandwich. I've had that sandwich. It's fantastic.
Sounds
and
good.
I have Travis made French toast with sausage or bacon in between, and done an occasional dip in a syrup, and it's fantastic.
Very nice, very nice. It sounds great. Now, when we get done with This Week in History, in somewhere between the next 15 minutes and 3 hours, we will bring up the topic of soups, because I know Elizabeth is passionate about soups, and I enjoy them myself. So
I do too.
it's okay. Jules says best sandwich from a truck stop that I've ever had: meatloaf topped with mashed potatoes and gravy. See, as long as the bread is toasted there, because you can't put that on regular soft bread. That shit'll fall apart. That's like Mom's hamburgers when you were a kid, and she put it on the fucking white bread and not toast it. What, Ed?
Use a fork.
That's very true. That's something else we could debate is, if you have an open face sandwich that you need a knife and fork to eat, is it still a sandwich?
I think even if you have to cut it into smaller portions to handle it, you should be able to pick a sandwich up and eat it with your hands.
Without looking like you were just dragged through the front yard face first.
Yeah, with that stuff dripping through your fingers, shoveling into your face like some kind of beast. You should be able to pick it up, hold it, and take a bite.
So, who knew we'd be so passionate about fucking sandwiches, right?
I'm British, for fuck's sake. We don't eat anything else. We don't have a food culture. We just eat sandwiches and drink tea. Didn't you know that?
Well, something because of Ed.
The occasional fairy cake.
I have started eating a lot of sandwiches on tortillas because it's what Ed says. I bring this camping. It's easier to pack than a loaf of bread. You know, it's just as versatile. And I've started.
You keep better as well.
Yeah. And I actually now keep a pack of tortillas at all times in my house because sometimes I want the sandwich on the bread. Other times I just want a meat and cheese delivery system. And that's very convenient. Okay. So, Ed, you have stuff for tonight?
I have stuff.
Excellent. It's amazing, Ed. I don't know how you do it or what you exactly do, but without you here, nobody gets the stuff you get or something like that because we get done with, like, in 20, 30 minutes, tops, with This Week in History.
Oh, so you just interrupt the fuck out of me. That's what you're saying.
No, I think you bring up more interesting topics. And you have...
We winged it, Ed. We did you proud, but, you know, there was a definite lack of the usual quality to This Week in History.
Last week, Ed, one of the things was FDR became president. And it wasn't a big talking point. We're all like, okay. It's
It happened.
It did. It's
Well, we used to get through it a lot faster too when I just used to do history, but now that I'm doing entertainment stuff, we're geeks, so we find stuff to talk about.
Right. We can reminisce about it. Anything, beyond 150 years ago, we kind of lose content with. Not that FDR.
You speak for yourself. My country is much older and richer than yours.
That's right. It's so's your give a damn apparently, because
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got that British give a damn. It's
Okay, I don't give a damn about anything, old boy.
If we keep going like
there are buildings on this island that are older than your country.
Yeah, there is. There's buildings on this country that's older than our country. There's whole pyramids in the Midwest made by the Indians. Before the first trip here, where we then left for 100 years and came back, and they all died from our diseases.
Somewhere under a parking lot of Sears.
No, they're actually. There's times they're like, we just found a pyramid, and people are like, what? There's a pyramid in the North America? They're actually dirt mound pyramids as opposed to stone pyramids. But yeah, it's just like the Europeans on their second trip here, where they actually started to colonize. They were amazed. They're like, look at all the trees growing in straight rows. It's because 100 years ago, there was people cultivating those trees and living there. And then we brought our European diseases over and, left till they were all dead and came back going, wow, these people are easy to conquer.
And we locked up a lot of the forests and things because those native peoples would take care of the forest and do controlled burns and make sure populations of animals in certain areas didn't get, too large
or too small.
A lot of the underbrush that is now taken over everywhere with all of the vines and crap, like that didn't happen because the native, Americans took care of that and made sure that there was enough.
Okay.
Rich, healthy forest.
Since we're all back, let me go ahead and do the intro. We'll go to This Week in History. Not interrupting you, but totally...
No, that's fine. That's the end of my thought.
Joey said boo-hoo in the middle of all this. That's pretty funny. Okay, Ed, what happened this week in history, man?
This week in history, shit happened, y'all.
He says with enthusiasm.
Yeah. 35 years since the release of Children of the Corn.
Oh, who fucking cares? Crap movie.
That movie?
Fucking bunch of white kids living in a field. Who the fuck cares? It was before Stephen King had creative control, and people were like, that was terrifying. Have you read the book? The what? Shut up.
There's a book.
It's no cat's eye.
I never saw Children of the Corn. I've only seen a little scene snippet, and it scared the fuck out of me. So.
Children of the what? Did you say Children of the Kern?
Corn.
Porn. Children of the Porn. That's immoral.
Children of
That's an entirely different
excuse
movie.
me. It was Children of my porn.
I want to say that all of our co-hosts' opinions and views are not the same as the management. we delete our browser history.
I thought for a minute that was one of those MTV reality programs about the heavy metal band and their children in real life, children of the corn.
That'd be great.
God.
Why is that not a thing yet?
His sister program, Children of Anthrax.
That's us in the early
That'd be
2000s.
Children of Slayer.
What else
There you go.
happened, Ed?
60 years ago, the Barbie doll made her debut.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, yeah, that's it. Wow. That's it.
No gun accessories. It was lacking.
Yeah. G.I. Joe polished for me.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
My G.I. Joes and Power Rangers often took over my sister's Barbie dream house to use it as a base of operations.
I tell you what. When I had action figures, my mother had a dollhouse that she wasn't using. I so happily claimed that shit. I'm like, yep, I'll take a dollhouse. It's now a space base or whatever. The toss across bean bags, those were fucking furniture. And the Hot Wheels that I never played with, those were personal transports. People just sit on them and they roll around. Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to play with one of my brother's cars. I don't know why. I think I was 4 at the time, and I couldn't resist it because it was such a cool action car. But the dolls like G.I. Joe and Barbie wouldn't quite fit in it, and I'd get them stuck. That's how I would get caught.
You know what? You should go find your brother's car, fill it with 4 blow-up dolls of various genders and ethnic backgrounds, and just be like, I just wanted to play with your car with my dolls again. But make sure they're on
And
auto.
one of those giant inflatable like rubber ducks. Throw in the odd.
I
Inflatable
would
sheep.
so get arrested. I would get caught. And
Oh no, I'm saying you set them on an auto timer so they auto inflate when he's on the fucking highway. No clothes, just like your Barbies when you were 4.
And that's how I killed my brother.
That's very clever, actually.
Perfect crime, if only we hadn't publicised it first.
Oh, Travis!
Hold on while I delete the archive.
Unfortunately, that means all of you watching tonight have just become witnesses.
Or accomplices, one of the two.
Yeah. Messages now to decide which before we draw up the list.
I heard nothing. Nothing.
Didn't the G.I. Joe have that little metal
Penis.
strap you put around him and he'd flex his bicep and it would break it?
No, that was
Yeah.
Big Jim.
It was Big Jim, okay.
Yeah.
I got him confused. I was quite young. I'm sorry, I was quite
I
young.
didn't have
You
G.I.
should have known the
Joe
difference.
action,
Big
man.
Jim was only 8 inches. G.I. Joe was 12 inches.
They don't know the difference, Ed. Shh.
I kept getting it stuck in a car.
Barbie didn't know the difference. She didn't have any genitals.
Well, she did with a small drill and some,
Oh, poor Barbie. Hi.
Go on, Ed.
Okay, 29 years ago, New Jack City premiered starring Wesley Snipes and Ice-T.
What a movie. I actually watched that about 6 months ago, and although obviously the film quality wasn't great back then, I think it still stands up as a movie. I still find it enjoyable.
It's like the Ghetto Godfather, right?
Yep.
Am I my brother's keeper?
I sent my brother that song. by the Yin Yang Twins.
That sounds like a Backstreet Bangkok show.
It's a rap band. A group. But what do you call it? It's not a rap band. It's not a rap group. What do you call it? They're rappers.
Crap.
Don't hold back. Say what you really mean.
Was I supposed to? Did we change the rules? I wasn't paying attention.
We're all being very candid tonight.
After I watched my cat grab aluminium foil with his jaws, rip it off, spit it on the ground, and then look at me.
What is
It's been an
this?
interesting day. Feed me, bitch. Feed me. This is the cat. This one right here.
Yeah.
That was the one.
He gets cuddles for it. She smacks me when I say it to her.
Fred, what's that there? Look. No, you don't care, do you?
He's like, I'm a cat. What made you think otherwise?
Mine's looking out the window. No, that's it. That's it. International pussies. You know they can't acknowledge each other's
I saw that
presence.
movie.
It was right. It was on right after Children of the Porn.
Oh, what'd you think of my film? Could you read my lips?
Yeah,
Put up,
Yes.
Have you ever been tempted to attempt pickle porn?
No.
Not on
Do
camera.
it.
You're gonna make me every time she serves me a salad. I'm gonna be like, "Are these virgin vegetables?"
I can't do it. You know, if you even think about it being that, you can't draw it ever again. So. Travis has ruined my dreams. Please don't ruin my career.
or start her on a new career path. Tomato, tomato.
I already have a screen name. I have a writer's name. I'm ready to go. Romance novelist. If you ever hear something by Lillian LaRue, that's me. Lillian, the scar. And stop me.
26 years ago, Beavis and Butthead premiered on television.
Yeah, hated it. Had like 3 funny moments. The rest was crap.
Never watched a single episode.
I just knew too many people that acted like that in real life before the show ever happened.
That was the annoying. Yeah, it was one of those annoying things, wasn't it? You know, and it was okay. It was quite funny in places.
Right.
Some of it was quite banal, but they had some quite good one-liners and some silly bits that made me laugh.
Yeah.
And the annoying thing about it was it got spoiled by everybody just trying to do the sniggery laugh thing all the time, and yeah.
Yep. And like I said, when you got, your roommates who are total stoners all sitting around laughing like the characters while watching the show and not even following the plot, not that there was a whole big amount of plot mixed in there, but
No.
though I did like washing the dog thing.
Were they supposed to be potheads?
No, they were supposed to be middle schoolers.
No, you think
I liked Cornholio. He was funny.
I'm thinking, what, Ed?
Cheech and Chong.
They were what they were.
We just talked about how annoying it was that people kept repeating the show constantly, and you said the word cornholio, and I had to hold myself back from doing the line.
I know I did Cornholio.
Yeah. Beavis was 14 years.
See, you made me do it.
I made you.
Yeah, they were supposed to be 14 years old.
Okay.
So freshmen in
That
high
was-
school.
which would explain why Elizabeth and I are so drawn to.
Yeah. It was what it was.
Yeah.
You know, it was filler. It was a very disappointing film. You know, but you know, it's okay.
You look back on it now the same way in 20 years' time, people will look back on things like, I don't know, Rick and Morty, stuff like that. You know, it's silly, throwaway, chewing gum cartoon.
Rick and Morty has a cleverness and a wit to it, though.
Yeah, it does, and that's a development of cartoon writing styles, I think. But then 20 years from now, who knows what will be in vogue with cartoons then? You see what I'm saying? So,
Yes, you're definitely right.
Or like, was that the Gumball, or no, the regular show. That is some of the most asinine crap I have ever had to watch that makes absolutely no sense. And I have no idea how kids these days, like, actually really like that show, because it's just, there's nothing
Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Ren and Stimpy. There's always one of these shows out there.
Oh, come on, guys.
Well, yeah, but I've watched some of the largest hitting videos on YouTube, and it's a hot knife cutting through cheese, people opening Kinder Eye. You know, at least these shows have a script or some thought. It might be drunken thought or cocaine-induced thought to it, and I can appreciate that. You can, you know, it kind of gives you a sense of people's attitudes at the time. What's selling?
Wynn says, "Oh, I like the regular show. I've cosplayed this regular show and made it on the MTV website for it." Well, Toey, just because you're awesome doesn't mean the show was. I've never seen it. I don't even know what the regular show is, so I just know you're awesome.
It is memorable. You don't even need to see it to remember it.
What was it about? Bowel movements? No. Ed, what else happened? See, you just let us go,
32
Ed.
years ago, Highlander premiered.
How many?
32.
The movie or the TV series?
The movie.
And they're remaking it now.
Yeah.
I was 1 year old.
Yeah, they're remaking it.
I was 8.
How many? 32, you say?
Yeah, kids. Fucking
I was 10.
8, Elizabeth?
That's my story, and I'm still
Very well developed for 8.
I'd buy that for $1. They're making another Highlander feature film or miniseries. What's going on?
feature film. They're totally remaking it.
Yeah,
Who's
any
doing
idea
it? Who's-
if they see who they're casting? Yeah.
Exactly when.
I can't remember. It was at least nobody I'd heard of. I don't really follow actors that close, but yeah.
Well, Ed, settle down. You're getting a little excited over there.
Can they just
I
remake?
think there can be only one. I think they just.
I'll tell you what made Highlander the only one is that anybody had the balls to cast Sean Connery as a Spanish guy.
You know, this I was
like whoever came up with that idea, like fuck it, Scottish, Spanish, that's close enough. You know?
By the way, Kevin, I was thinking about this just the other night because he actually wasn't Spanish. He was Egyptian in the Spanish court.
True.
But I was saying people bitch about people's accents nowadays, but they love Sean Connery. But they raked Kevin Costner across the coals because his accent kept slipping. I'm like, do you remember Sean Connery as a Russian submarine commander?
Russian submarine captain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need to fucking enjoy the movie and calm your tits. Other times you need to mock them.
I'm not sure how much of the humour may have found its way across the pond, but when Mel Gibson in Braveheart, the response from Scottish comedians in this country was worthy as effort. My favourite one actually about that came much later, is very recently, is when I keep mentioning him, but Frank Cooper was one of my comedians, and he says in one of his stand-up routines, They said at the time that Mel Gibson would never accurately portray a Scottishman, but look at him now, a drunken racist.
Yeah.
I wonder if he sounds more Scottish when he's drunk. I bet he does. Just can't understand him either. Is he Scottish? Ed, when it goes dead, just bring up the next one. Don't wait for us to tell you.
Yeah.
By the way, your mic sounds great tonight, Ed. Is that a new mic or?
It's on a boom instead of down on my desk.
Makes a huge
The
difference.
mighty-
You have a clean, warm sound. It's really great tonight.
Thank you.
To be honest, when Ed first came on camera and I saw the mic for the first time, you know, and the baseball cap and the sort of camouflage pattern, and I was like, any minute now, he's just going to grab that and start shouting, "Good morning, Vietnam."
Now there's an underrated movie.
Oh, God, it's amazing.
Absolutely incredible movie.
It is. It is. It's, I don't know, Robin Williams, his dramas, he has some great dramas. Good Will Hunting,
Dead Poets Society.
Dead Poets Society, yeah. It's and there's one other one I was thinking of too, and the one where he played the psychopath at the film Photomat. No. Yeah, it's apparently he was like scary. And by the way, I also love I can't even think of the title. That's how much I love it. What Things May Come, the one where his kid dies
Yeah.
and he journeys
And he
through.
goes to hell to get his wife. Yeah.
The suicide one.
What
Yeah.
dreams may come.
Thank you. What Dreams May
Yeah.
Come. I thought that was an
And he was
incredible movie.
running through the fields. It was like an oil painting.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was
Yeah, that was an amazing movie.
And if you watch it a couple times, you get, I don't know, extra. You get bonus features by watching it another time. Okay.
I like movies like that, where having watched it once, it gives you a subtext that enables you to see more of it the second time, so you're not just seeing a repetition. It's a learning curve.
That's good writing, good directing right there. Okay, Ed, what else you got?
31 years ago, the police drama In the Heat of the Night made its TV debut. It was based on a character first introduced in the 1970 film They Call Me Mr. Tibbs. The character was played by Sidney Poitier in the movie.
And who played that? I remember Archie Bunker. Carol O'Connor was the white cop. Who was the black guy in the TV series?
It was some guy he really didn't have. I can't remember his name now. He really didn't have a whole lot of repertoire behind him or anything, and boom, he was in this TV role. And
There we go. Let me
The
pull it.
guy,
Mhm.
I remember the guy that played Bubba. He's one of the deputies. He's kind of muscular built.
muscular.
He lived,
yeah.
I think, in Fresno or near Fresno, and I'd see him occasionally when I was out and about. And he was a pretty big guy. I never made a deal about it, but I remember saying, "Hey, I know that guy. Cool, big arts, big."
Yeah, we still don't know who this guy is, do we? Is apparently those pictures are too small. I can't even tell which one he is. All the white guys and black guys look alike in those pictures. It's
Goodness
David
gracious.
Hart, maybe? Let's see here. Really, his IMDb page for David Hart, his main photo is like his shoulder and then somebody else's shoulder and the blank space in between them.
No, it would be Howard Rollins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Why is he the fifth one down? Yeah, Virgil Tibbs, there he is. What, Chris?
I burped and said, "Excuse me."
Oh, that's exciting. Let's talk about
Thanks for
that.
drawing attention to it.
Okay. What else you got, Ed?
32 years ago, Lethal Weapon premiered in theaters. Does anybody watch the show, and what are your thoughts?
I have not.
I had not realized there was one.
Yeah, it's like on his third season or something.
On the third season, they've already killed Riggs off.
Yeah, because the actor is being an asshole. Couldn't hold his shit together and was having this great paying role and had to fuck it up and almost gave everyone else does their job. So they just hired another actor. So
The Darren syndrome.
What?
The Darren syndrome. Bewitched. Where they went through two dicks, and wasn't there a third guy, like in the pilot? It was... They had Dick York, Dick Sargent, and
I don't know.
Will Ferrell.
I would just like to, I don't want to completely veer this off the rails, but
Sure you do.
sure, why not? Fine. That's why we're here, baby. Okay. I don't know. I haven't looked. I'm going to look right now while we're chit-chatting. Captain Marvel, I've been just kind of paying attention to what people are saying about it, what's going on. The funniest video that I saw in regards to actors and their responsibility when they create a product and what they should do and not do was an example, and I'll look for it online. I'll share it with you guys. They had Gal Gadot at an award ceremony and what she would say about being Wonder Woman and what Wonder Woman represented and what they hoped would come across in the film, and very inspirational and professional, helping market a product versus Brie Larson and what she said at an award ceremony, being angry and making it political and not about the product she helped create. And I thought that was an interesting point of view. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen the film. But as a responsibility as an actor, as part of a product, I thought it was an interesting exercise. And I'll look it up right now.
I have a lot of respect for actors that... I don't know. There's... Good night, John. Thanks for popping in, bud.
Night, John.
Hi, John.
I'm torn on this. On one hand, yes, they have this reach that most people don't. On the other hand, I kind of like it. Like, how much gossip or political movement have you heard from Morgan Freeman? You know, it's...
Julia Roberts, Dolly Parton.
I suppose to a certain extent as well, the question has to be asked, if you're an actor, at what point do you have to be considered responsible or be an ambassador for the point of a movie?
Mm-hmm.
You know, in terms of your you having personally represent it, like you say, and promote it. Where is the cutoff point? You know, is it a year after you've made the movie? Is it 5 years, 10 years? You know, how do you define that as well?
I got it.
Yes.
I can answer that.
Yeah, go
When you're
for
a
it.
woman, when you hit your 40s, then you can say whatever the fuck you want because you're not getting hired anymore. Until then, shut up and do your job. And all you have to do is act. It's just act. And because I'll say it again, what you say affects hundreds of people behind the scene that helped create the film, that light it, that
Yeah,
put
that's
your
a good
makeup
point.
on. You know, it's not about you all the time. And when you sign it, just shut up, behave yourself. And when you're no longer wanting to act anymore or no one will hire you, say whatever the fuck you want. Just wait. That's all I gotta say.
Until you're in your late
As
50s
I'm
and
on
start
a
getting
talk show.
roles again.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, until you start getting roles again.
But then there's like, I remember Ender's Game. They made it, people were excited, and like a month before it came out, this stuff about the author of the book, Orson Scott Card, came out, and suddenly everybody was boycotting the movie because of Orson Scott Card's views.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry. If it won't take too long, I wasn't aware of any of this. I might have been working on a project. What was his views? Was he anti-Semite or something?
No, I want to say he was anti-gay. I think. I don't actually remember because I enjoyed the hell out of the book. It was a great message in the book. I don't give a fuck about his personal views. By the way, Wynn says to me, Captain Marvel will always be Shazam, so I'm ignoring the other ones. And Gary says he actually did say in an interview that he did not want a Black History Month, Morgan Freeman. Kind of political.
Freeman.
Yeah, he was just quoting Ed.
Yes. He's just listening to me. That's all.
That show I was telling you about, Speechless, there's one point in time where, like, the kid in the wheelchair is getting all this special attention. Like, first day in class, they nominate him for student council president, and the black guy who's taking care of him go, oh, I'm the only black guy in school. You should see him in Black History Month. I'm like a king.
Have you been to the party yet where they get into a fight and they're trying to make it equal, all the handicapped kids?
No. We saw the one where he got
It's
drunk at the party.
Fantastic.
But yeah, I really appreciate the show because they're mocking sensitivity. They're making fun of black people, white people, handicapped. They're inclusive in their humor, and it's a beautiful thing. Made me
I like
happy.
it how they make everyone is kind of a little screwed up.
Yeah.
Whether you're handicapped or racist or whatever. Yeah. I love that. It is fun.
Yeah, it's I mean, first episode was great, and we gave it 3 episodes, and watched the 4th one, and enjoyed it. Okay, Ed, what's next?
Well, getting back to what we got off topic on, if you're an entertainer, whether it's an actor, a singer, a sports player, whatever you are, entertain me. I don't give a fuck about your political views. Just entertain me.
On the other hand,
You're getting paid to entertain. Yes. Thank you,
And I
Ed.
don't care about your private life. I don't care who you screwed. I don't care about the 3 little girls down the corner that R. Kelly hooked up with. You know, he's still a fabulous singer, so he entertains. That might be
yeah, you can be a piece of shit and still be a good entertainer. And
It gives new meaning to the song. I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind, though. But hey.
it's one of those things that I'll let the court worry about if they're a piece of shit. I'm going to enjoy what I enjoy.
Anyway, 30 years ago, Cops premiered on television.
Oh, I probably had most of my family on that show at one point or another.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
That's right. That's the opening theme to my
I'm
home
with you
films. Yeah, that's the opening theme when I show family movies.
That was on what I can only describe politely as the cheaper satellite channels in the UK on late nights. You know, it's the kind of thing you've all been out on the piss, come back from the pub, watch crap we can sling on in the background with the volume turned down low while we all talk bollocks. So stick Cops on, that's always good for a chuckle, you know.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Wynn says Dolly Parton had the best policy. She never talks politics. That's
She says
fair.
I spent
She
too much money
talks
on these.
dolly ticks.
She also says I spent too much money on these to just talk about politics.
Fair
That's all I
enough.
got.
It's called protecting your investment. You know, if you're an entertainer, to put yourself out there, yes, you have influence, you have a reach with your voice, but you got to keep in mind, suddenly a good 30% of the population is going to be against you, and they might be the vocal part. And you might fuck up your career for it.
Why would you ever chance losing a portion of your audience? You know, you're not thinking straight. You know, you're letting your ego take over. It's not your job. You're not a politician. You know, I think you have the freedom to think and speak what you want, but do realize it affects other people.
Right, and that will affect you.
And you can positively affect people.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You know what? Do like Bill Gates and just donate to charities. Set up trust funds for this or that. That creates positive change. And don't stand in front of a microphone and preach your...
And don't blame the audience when they don't go see your movies when you're being a bitch. I mean, I know that's simplified, but
Break
you know,
it down.
people want to go escape. Allow them to escape. And when no one's hiring you, say whatever the fuck you want.
There you go. And maybe that'll get you a role.
Maybe it would. It would totally get you a role.
Yeah, if you're falling out of the spotlight, then you can go with the policy of there's no such thing as bad press. Until then, shh.
And why can't, and I just throw this out there, why can't people say inspirational things or hopeful things or happy things or I'm so lucky, I have the greatest job in the world. I get to pretend that I can fly and save people, and you know, you can too in your everyday life. You know? I'm not Violet. I can't believe that reporter sat there. Amazing.
Ed, what else?
Okay, current event. And this is true shit. I witnessed this shit happen.
Okay.
Everybody knows I work security for one of the major shipping companies in the United States. If you're fucking around with the driver of a shipping company's wife, okay, and he doesn't really know who you are or where you live, he's just like seen a photo of you here and there, but really doesn't know who you are. Don't order a package and have it delivered to your house by his shipping company. True story. Driver beat the shit out of the dude.
That is poetic justice. Justice by mail.
I think I could say probably a smart move would be don't fuck around with other people's wives at all, no matter who they are.
And that would have been a good start.
Just my opinion. My opinion is if you're so unhappy in your marriage that you'll fuck around, leave it. Andrea's on her way here. She might make it for 10 minutes of the show. Unless we go over the 2-hour mark. So, what shipping company did this guy work for?
The company where I provide security.
Oh, okay, so you're not going to tell us about the whole article then.
I'm not going to tell you that.
Okay, because
Let me draw a line of separation there. Hang on, sorry, Travis, bear with me a second. Yeah, I'm getting a word in on my ear from my legal team there saying, can we change the subject and just leave that one there?
yeah, yeah, we could do that. We wouldn't want to offend anyone.
He got fired, but you know.
The
Well,
driver or the guy?
The driver got fired.
so is his marriage better now?
Don't know. Don't get to talk to him anymore. He got fired.
Oh, that's even local news. It's so it wasn't you, Ed, right?
No.
The guy who had the package delivered. So how did he get a hold of a picture of this guy?
Oh, various people like, oh yeah, dude, this is the dude at such and such a party. Here he is, social media. Here he is in the background at so and so's party. Yeah, that's the guy that's fucking with the wife. You know, so. And then he's out making his deliveries one day, and he goes up to the door, rings the doorbell. It's like, it's you, motherfucker.
Surprise.
Ouch.
See, I'd never pick a guy out like that. He'd have to be wearing the same outfit I saw in the picture in the truck as I was driving to the house. I'd be like, wait a minute, now you look familiar. And Ed, this is no way needed to be answered, but Gary says, purple or brown? There are other ones.
Won't
Gary.
answer that one either. One of those two.
Good enough. Moving on. What else happened this week?
Deaths. March 8th, actor Jan Michael Vincent of Airwolf fame passed away. Anybody remember him?
Oh, I totally remember that.
He was a bodybuilder before he was into that, wasn't it? A bit like Schwarzenegger, like a mini Schwarzenegger kind of thing. I think he used to do.
A really mini Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I'm sure he's like, some kind of bodybuilding surfer type dude or something before he got into it.
Yeah, he was something like that.
Something. I remember Airwolf. In fact, ironically, I've got Airwolf saved on my Skybox. It was on one of the retro channels a while back, and I hadn't seen it, and I sort of saved it. But I just haven't got around to watching any of it yet. So it's ironic now. I saw that in the news the other day, and I was like, as that happens, I've got the whole of Airwolf. So,
I remember some of the pilot, and I remember they were in Madagascar, Turkey, or somewhere, and there was a belly dancer, and he and she were helping each other. And then she got caught by the bad guys, and they ended up cutting her hair off to make her talk, because that was her moneymaker, was her hair. Like, whoa. Had an impact.
It's yeah, that was one of those '80s series. They were great then, and now you watch them and go, ooh. Thank you.
Well,
Blue Thunder,
Well,
A
not
Team, Dukes of
more.
Hazzard. Yeah.
And Chris is sitting here like, what the hell are they talking about?
Maybe. It's
okay, I posted that link to that video I mentioned earlier.
okay.
Stop the comparisons
Okay.
in Discord.
All right, birthdays. March 10th, 1940. Martial artist turned actor Chuck Norris.
Oh, good night, Win.
No win.
Good night, Wim.
It's
There's millions of them. What's your favourite joke?
our favorite what joke?
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris joke.
Oh,
Mine's was Chuck Norris keep under his beard.
another fist.
A roundhouse kick in the face for you and another beard.
It's
Okay.
My favorite Chuck Norris line, I would go to the movies with a friend in college, and he chose one week, we alternated weeks. And this was a Chuck Norris movie, and he's talking to a terrorist suspect, and the terrorist says, Allah will protect me. And Chuck Norris says, well, then this shouldn't hurt. Bam! Chuck Norris.
it's in World of Warcraft. There's a region where you would do a lot of leveling in the beginning of the game, 14 years ago, called the Barrens, and it was known for people doing Chuck Norris jokes. Because they would get bored because you were in that area so long.
Okay, because you're in there grinding. Yeah.
And yeah, that's where I learned pretty much all my Chuck Norris jokes. You know, like he doesn't push up.
Sure.
He doesn't do push-ups. He pushes the earth down. You know, he counted to infinity twice.
Apparently, there is an internet Chuck Norris database all full of jokes.
As there should be. Do you want to read off a couple?
When Chuck Norris's daughter lost her virginity, he went back.
Chris, you got a couple there? I liked it before.
Chuck Norris doesn't read books. He stares them down until he gets the information he wants. If you ask Chuck Norris what time it is, he always says 2 seconds till. After you ask 2 seconds till what, he roundhouse kicks you in the face. Chuck Norris lost his virginity before his dad did.
It's this is why I'm so happy with the new what's his name from Scooby-Doo, Shaggy jokes, because they're all redone Chuck Norris jokes for the most part. It's I don't know if you guys have seen the memes with Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently he's God.
Shaggy is God.
Yeah, just go look up like Shaggy Scooby-Doo meme, and you'll see them all. You know,
Chuck Norris doesn't shower. He only takes blood baths.
Okay, Ed, what else?
March 11th, 1989. Anton Yelchin. Most of us know him as Chekhov from the new Star Trek movie.
By the
The
way,
young dude that got run over by his Jeep.
by his own Jeep in his own driveway with nobody driving it.
Yep.
By the way, if you can see, he has a movie on Netflix. You know what? I'm gonna have to look up the name. What's the last name again, please?
Yelchin.
Thank you. Odd somebody. Odd Thomas. Very good movie. Very fun. Very clever. He's kind of a super detective, psychic powered guy, but a regular Joe on top of it all. It's really well done, and it's a damn shame he went. I liked him.
What's it called? Odd what?
Odd Thomas, and it is on
Odd
Netflix.
Thomas.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, cool.
it should be still. It came out in 2013. I had never heard of it. It had been on Netflix for a long time when I finally turned it on, and I really enjoyed it. And so did Andrea.
So, Ed, to clarify, he died by running himself over.
No, his Jeep ran him over.
There's a distinction. It's like Carrie is possessed.
Yeah, somehow
Yeah, it's
his
memorable. You're gonna go out with a
I
bang.
understand his driveway was like on a slant or something.
Yeah.
It was a
It
gate,
didn't go with a bang. It was more like a squelch.
and his Jeep was not properly in park, and he went down toward the gate, and the Jeep rolled and crushed him.
Oh, you don't have to explain it. I mean, I can appreciate it. Yeah. But,
Certain element of Darwinism to it.
I'll have to find it, dig it up. I met him at Disneyland. I ran into him outside the villain store, and we took a picture together.
very nice, very nice. How was he in person?
Anyway, he was very kind. He put up with me, and we had to wait for my friend to stagger out of the store to take a picture. So,
Nice.
he was very kind. Yeah,
That's good.
most gracious.
That's good.
He
Yeah.
also played John Connor in one of the Terminators.
He did, didn't he? Like Terminator
Yeah.
3, or one of the ones where they're making the reboot of Terminator that they're making. Is,
Terminator Salvation.
Right. But basically, the new Terminator they're making is going to go back in time and erase everything from Part 3 forward.
Actually, I take that back. He didn't play John Connor. He played John's father.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's,
I was thinking that I watched, since Chris mentioned it, a little bit of Terminator Salvation today, and very little. And I have frustration sometimes with stories that are timelines, and you can change time because, nothing's permanent then. No one's ever going to be happy very long, and it just goes on and on and on and on, like life. The nice thing about television shows or movies, they end.
See, I remember him from the movie Charlie Bartlett, where he was like he got kicked out of his like fancy private school and had to go to public school, and ends up like becoming a school like psychiatrist kind of deal, and like getting people drugs to help them for like their anxiety or like all of the different things by going to his therapist and like I feel like all of these things, and the psychiatrist just like writes him a note for a prescription, and then he gets the prescription and goes to school and gives it to the kids. It's a really fun little movie.
domestic drug dealers. What else you got, Ed?
California.
What else, Ed?
March 14, 1933, actor Michael Caine. Some of us may remember him as the Equalizer on television. He was in something recently, too, I think, with Morgan Freeman. Funny movie, something in Vegas, Las Vegas, or something like that.
Yeah. I tell you what, Michael Caine, I don't think he's ever turned down a role. My favorite role with him is Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And by the way, there is a...
I'd like you to meet my brother, Rupeg.
Ruprecht. Why is the cork on the end of the fork?
May I go to the toilet, please? Yes, you may. Thank you.
He has 170 actor credits on IMDb.
My name is Michael Caine. Not a lot of people know that.
That's pretty good.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
It's
It's kind of obligatory. All British people must at some point, as a passage into manhood, attempt a Michael Caine accent.
they are kind of remaking Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Well, it's remade. It's coming out with women. It has Rebel Wilson and
I can see that being. It depends who they're casted with, is it?
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway and Rebel Wilson. I'm gonna give it a chance. It's because it doesn't seem like they're.
That's exactly how I felt.
It doesn't feel like it's a. remake or reboot. It just feels like it's a parallel. Good night, Tempe. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it.
No,
It's
It's absolutely line for line, almost the other one, at least from the trailer. However, the scene where Rebel Wilson is playing Steve Martin's character, and when she goes into the casino, of course they cut from Anne Hathaway saying, "We must be inconspicuous." And they cut to Rebel Wilson pretending she's blind, like, "If you could just clear a path to the chair," and she's touching Anne Hathaway's chest. And she says, "Oh, excuse me, sir."
Yeah.
Just scoot down.
I'll give it a chance. I enjoy both the actresses' movies, and
Yeah,
We'll see. We'll see.
You'll have some nice drinks during it. It'll help. It might be funny.
it might be. It'll have a moment or two, I guarantee that. The rest of the movie, we'll see. Unless, of course, the
It
trailer
won't be
shows.
rubricked. It won't be rubricked.
No, it will not. It's Okay, Ed. Who else?
March 14th, 1933. Composer Quincy Jones.
I didn't realize he was that old.
I didn't think he was that old either till I saw him today. I was like, oh, shit, he's up there.
How old was he again? I'm sorry.
He was born in 33.
Isn't that funny how you get older, the age for being old gets higher as well? That's not old at all.
Puts him in his late 80s now, so
Good for him.
it's
March 16th, 1926. Comedian actor Gary Lewis.
he had some controversy in the later years, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Pissed some people off with attitude.
Mm-hmm.
So in the late 80s, early 90s, I believe. Then he had health
When did
issues.
he do?
I think he spoke politics. Besides doing the telethon, I think he just opened up his mouth and people went, "The fuck, you're not that big."
Maybe
as they often do.
That's true. That's true. Andrea's here. We might get 10 minutes of Andrea.
Yay!
She pulled up.
And last one, March 16th, 1959. William Drayton Jr., better known as Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav.
I always feel like he should have had a candy named after him, like Fun Dip. It's I just never understood quite what he was all about. I can't name a single song he did. Here she is. Hi.
Andrea!
We were all silent till you got here.
I'm going to perform the last 10 minutes of this show in an homage to Flavor Flav.
You're just in time. We're about to discuss soup.
International clock.
Okay. Andrew's going to go make soup, then she'll be back.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
There's my cell phone. Can you see the time?
I was doing the same thing, Chris.
Awesome.
Okay. So what's everybody's favorite soup?
Oh, wow.
I'm going to boomer you. Chicken noodle.
Like canned or homemade?
Just give me the Campbell's chicken noodle soup out of the can.
I like a nice creamy potato soup.
Oh.
Potato and leek, I like, yeah. And French onions, particular favourite of mine.
Oh, interesting. Twitch support sent a text out saying, "We're looking into the issue that's preventing live channels from showing up in your blah blah blah." There we go. That explains why we didn't have the 1,000 viewers we normally do.
Yeah, I've gotten a couple of notifications of like Twitch streams that have gone live since we've been streaming.
Ours just posted
And,
like 10 minutes ago. Hi.
Yeah, none of them are actually showing up in my channels bar.
Somebody got a haircut.
It's
Yes.
so what's your favorite soup, Andrea?
And I trimmed the beard.
My favorite soup is the soup I make.
What kind do you make?
Whatever's in the fridge, I throw it in a pot and make soup. Do I need to move? I can't see.
No, we'll do this. There we go. Stop moving that way. There we go.
What's the strangest soup you've ever had?
That stuff at Japanese restaurants that they call soup and it's like thin broth.
That's not soup. That's dirty water.
It is a soup.
Water.
Miso.
Maybe.
Oh, it's so hard.
Not so.
That's a different soup.
Sorry.
Bob's favorite is probably ass soup, but we'll move on from that.
Oh god.
Take that as red.
I think Bob left us.
I think he did. I think he snuck off.
I guess
Oh.
pho or cream with carrot.
Oh, ew.
Ew.
Oh, it was very good.
Oh, I thought that was the weirdest soup we've had. Oh god, that's just weird.
It was just two.
What was the first
in
one?
the pho,
Yeah,
in
right.
the pho or pho, you get tripe occasionally,
Ugh.
so that's kind of weird. But it's good. And the cream of carrot was in Ireland, and it was it was so good.
You ever tried carrot and orange?
No.
Oh,
Yes, I have. I did cook
oh.
it. Yes.
It's an amazing combination of soup. The weirdest soup I ever tried, and it was absolutely delicious, but it was spider crab and pink grapefruit.
Spider?
Spider crab.
Oh.
We
What
discussed
did it
spiders
taste
earlier.
like?
Well, it's like a slightly fishy broth because the spider crab's quite a sweet crab meat, and it's pulled crab meat rather than chunks of it. So it gives it almost, in a sense, it's almost like that same kind of noodly soup texture because you've got the thin strands of spider crab in there, and then it's just like halved segments of pink grapefruit in it. So and there's like a little diced onion, some red chili. There was a little bit of spring onion in there, some stem ginger. So it's quite an Orient type thing. The spider crab's lovely. It's really sweet. It's got quite a strong flavour, so it holds its own against all of those sort of strong, spicy flavours. It's lovely. Pink grapefruit just has that kind of sour edge, so you've got that whole, the sweetness from the meat and the sour from fruits. It was delicious. Posh restaurant, very posh restaurant I went to.
And it was warm
boss.
then.
Oh yes,
warm.
hot soup. Yes,
Hot.
yes, a hot. Yeah.
I'm just so curious about the grapefruit.
It was lovely because it's pink grapefruit's got that extra sharpness to it. It's not bitter, but it's really nice and sort of astringent. So that balanced against spice and heat from a little bit of chili and ginger and stuff, and then sweetness from the crab meat. Really, really nice combination. It's lovely. But that's probably the weirdest one in terms of like the ingredients that are in it.
How many people order soup as an appetizer at a restaurant nowadays?
It depends where I am. I will sometimes if I'm eating out at a really good restaurant, because soup's quite a generic thing. At the end of the day, as Ed said, I'm just as happy with some brands. Open up a can of soup, smash it in a pan, warm it up. I'm happy as give me a bit of bread to dunk in it. I'm a happy man. I'm not necessarily fussy about soup, so I wouldn't necessarily choose it as a starter for dining out. But if I'm in a really good restaurant where something odd or unusual like that, or something that I know is likely to be of a particularly high quality is on there, I may well choose that as well as any other starter. It's not what I'd call a normal meal out starter.
What about the rest?
Unless it's the depth of winter, then it's nice sometimes. The great thing about soup, the reason people find it comfort.
We got 3 minutes. I want to hear a little from them.
We can talk about
Sorry to interrupt. And then go back to the... sorry, I know you don't have to hush, but what about you guys?
I mean, if I'm, again, at somewhere that's kind of fancy and you get, a super salad before your entree and then dessert, like, one of those multi-course meals that you can get at a more fancy restaurant, then sure, I'll eat soup. Otherwise, I never pick a soup as a starter.
Elizabeth, Ed?
I love a cup of soup. But if I go into a restaurant and I know it's just going to be a salt bath, squeezed out of a plastic package and then you heat it in, hot water, I won't order it. But every once in a while, I love French onion soup. I really do. And when a place makes it from scratch, it's not that salty concoction. It's delicious. And so I always take a risk and order a cup because a cup, it's $5, all right,
Where's Bob?
Just give it a shot. Stretch out the stomach, get ready for the big eat. So, yeah, absolutely. Soup is good food. I love soup.
Ed?
I've never ordered the soup as a starter. Now, I have ordered soup as a meal before.
Right.
Like Kev said, if I can get a good old big hunk of bread with it, sure. If I eat soup, I will sit there and just have soup and bread as a meal, but not usually as a starter.
Isn't it fun to have food, a meal as liquid? I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It fills you up. You barely
I'll
have to
drink
take
to
effort.
that.
Put it in your mouth.
Well, yeah, especially if the soup is in a giant bread bowl. Oh, like a thick potato soup in a bread bowl.
Potato soup.
By the way, Jules says, strangest soup, milgadawani, made with pears.
I don't understand what that word is.
Mulligatawny, are you trying to say?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Show off.
Maybe made with pears. Nice.
Probably an Indian word. I don't know.
Yeah, I am unfamiliar with that type of soup.
Hang on, how do you spell it?
M-I-L.
M-U-L-L
Uh-huh.
I-G-A-T, is it A-W-N?
Yeah, T-A-W.
Yeah, that one.
Got it.
You should, if you're Googling, you should have got it by now.
Well, Kevin,
Oh, that is a good soup.
Kevin?
Oh.
let me spell how she spelled it in case it's different. M-I-L-L-G-A-T-A-W-N-Y.
Yeah.
I imagine it's unlikely we're talking about
Yeah.
a different soup. Yeah.
I've had that because they had it with rice. It was amazing.
N-Y.
People find super comfort food because unlike solid, which passes down your gullet slower, soup goes straight down, hits your stomach, and it creates warmth central straight away. So you literally get a feeling of warm fuzziness.
Literally.
Yeah,
And like you said, Elizabeth, if you're not hungry, soup's a great way of getting protein and goodness into you without feeling like you've eaten a heavy meal as well. It's you drink a cup of tea, you can have a cup of soup.
Cup of soup. Yeah. It's love.
by the way, now, Kevin,
There's a very strong likelihood in just a couple of moments I'll make a cup of soup.
Me too.
yeah, I pulled it up the way she spelled it, and it says it's an English soup which originated from South Indian cuisine, and it looks like it's a curry-based soup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it does sound good. It does sound good. Now it is 10 o'clock. I know Ed and Kevin both said they were going to tap out at this time. Are we ready to call it a night, guys?
I'm going.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah. I need to
Closing
go.
toast. Here's the soup that has a proof.
Here.
Drunk from the skulls of our enemies.
There we go. And here's the outro, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Good night, guys.
You are the one thing that makes the show what it is. Don't forget to join us at the Tavern next week. Until then, have fun, keep learning, and be good to one another. Now, raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every day, and steamy dreams every minute.